Hello, my friends. Today I want to talk to you directly about something that affects nearly every retired and disabled American, and that is Social Security and how recent political moves connected to President Trump are once again putting this program in the spotlight. Many of you have heard confusing headlines, rumors about new stimulus payments, and talk about changes that could affect monthly checks, and it is completely normal to feel worried or unsure. So in this video, I want to calmly and clearly explain what is actually happening, what kinds of changes are being discussed, and what this could realistically mean for your benefits now and in the future, using simple language and step-by-step explanations that make sense. First, let us talk about what people mean when they say Social Security has shifted again. Most of the time, Social Security does not change overnight. It changes through laws passed by Congress, budget decisions, administrative rules, and court rulings. When a former or current president is mentioned, it usually means that political pressure, policy proposals, or executive actions are influencing how lawmakers and agencies think about the program. In recent months, there has been renewed discussion about how to keep Social Security funded, how benefits are calculated, and how inflation adjustments are handled. These discussions are tied to broader economic plans that have been promoted by Trump and some lawmakers who support him, especially as the country looks toward future elections and budget negotiations. One of the biggest concerns many seniors have is whether their monthly check could go down. Right now, there is no nationwide change that cuts Social Security benefits for current retirees just because of a single political decision. Social Security benefits are protected by law, and cutting them directly would require Congress to pass new legislation. That is not easy to do, and it usually faces strong opposition from both parties because so many voters depend on these payments. However, what can change and what people are worried about are the rules that affect future increases, taxes that fund the program, and how inflation adjustments are calculated. Over time, these changes can affect how much money people receive. Let us talk about cost of living adjustments, often called COLA. Every year, Social Security benefits are usually adjusted to keep up with inflation. This is meant to help seniors maintain their buying power when prices go up. There has been ongoing debate about whether the current method of calculating inflation truly reflects what seniors spend, especially on healthcare, housing, and food. Some proposals supported by conservative policymakers in the past, including during Trump's presidency, suggested changing the inflation formula. A different formula could result in smaller annual increases. That does not mean checks would suddenly drop, but it could mean that future raises are smaller, and over time that can add up to less money than people expected. Another major topic is the Social Security Trust Fund. This is the account that helps pay benefits when payroll taxes alone are not enough. For many years, experts have warned that if no changes are made, the trust fund could face shortages in the future. When politicians talk about shifting Social Security, they are often talking about how to keep this fund from running out. Some suggest raising taxes on higher earners, some suggest raising the retirement age, and others suggest reducing benefit growth. Trump and some of his allies have sent mixed messages over time. At certain points, Trump said he would not cut Social Security. At other times, budgets proposed during his administration included reductions in related programs like disability benefits or changes in how payments are managed. This creates confusion and makes people nervous, which is completely understandable. Now, let us address the topic of stimulus payments because many seniors keep hearing about new checks, special relief payments, or so-called bonuses tied to political promises. At this moment, there is no confirmed federal stimulus program that automatically sends extra money to all Social Security recipients like during the pandemic years. During COVID, Congress passed emergency laws that provided direct payments to help people survive an economic crisis. Those payments were not part of Social Security itself, even though many seniors received them. Today, when people talk about stimulus, they are often referring to campaign promises, economic proposals, or rumors spreading on social media. It is very important to understand that until Congress passes a law and the government announces official payment plans, no extra checks are guaranteed. However, there are discussions about targeted relief, tax credits, and benefit expansions that could help certain groups of seniors, especially those with low income. Some lawmakers are pushing for expanded SSI, which is supplemental security income, and for better protections for people who struggle with housing and medical costs. Whether these ideas become real depends on elections, budgets, and negotiations between political parties. Trump's influence matters because he shapes the priorities of many Republican lawmakers, and that affects what kinds of bills get support or opposition in Congress. Another area where changes could happen is in how Social Security is taxed. Right now, some people pay federal taxes on part of their Social Security benefits if their total income is above certain levels. These income limits have not changed much in decades, even though living costs have gone up. There have been proposals to raise these thresholds so fewer seniors pay taxes on their benefits. There have also been proposals to remove the payroll tax cap so high earners pay Social Security tax on more of their income, which could help strengthen the system. Trump has spoken about tax cuts in many areas, but he has not clearly supported raising payroll taxes on high earners, which means funding questions remain unresolved. Let us also talk about disability benefits because SSDI is part of the Social Security system and affects millions of Americans. Administrative rules can change how easy or hard it is to qualify for disability benefits, how often reviews happen, and how quickly claims are processed. During different administrations, these rules shift based on policy priorities. Some changes aim to reduce fraud and costs, while others aim to make access easier for people who truly cannot work. These shifts can affect how secure people feel about their benefits and whether they worry about losing them after medical reviews. So what does all of this really mean for you right now if you are already receiving Social Security, SSI, or SSDI? The most important thing to know is that your current monthly benefit is not being suddenly canceled or cut because of political news. Payments are still going out as scheduled, and the system is still operating under existing law. Any major changes that would reduce benefits would require long public debates and new legislation, and there would be time for people to hear about it and prepare. That does not mean people should ignore these discussions, but it does mean there is no need to panic about missing next month's check because of a headline. At the same time, it is smart to stay informed and understand how future changes could affect long-term finances. If annual increases become smaller, seniors may need to plan more carefully for rising healthcare and housing costs. If tax rules change, some people might see changes in how much of their benefit is taxed. If eligibility rules shift for disability or spousal benefits, some families might need to adjust their expectations. This is why it is so important to get information from reliable sources and not from rumors that promise big bonus checks or threaten sudden cuts without evidence. Fear spreads quickly, especially when people are already worried about making ends meet. But real policy changes move slowly and usually come with official announcements and clear instructions. Another helpful step is budgeting with realistic expectations. Even if benefits continue, most seniors know that Social Security alone is often not enough to cover all expenses comfortably. Looking carefully at monthly costs, especially medical expenses, utilities, food, and housing, can help identify where support programs or community resources might be useful. There are programs that help with prescription costs, heating bills, and food assistance, and these can make a real difference when prices rise faster than benefits. It is also wise to be cautious about financial scams, which tend to increase whenever there is news about government payments. Scammers often pretend to be from Social Security and claim they can help you get extra money or protect your benefits if you give personal information. The Social Security Administration does not call people threatening to stop benefits, and they do not ask for bank details over the phone. Protecting your information is just as important as protecting your benefit amount. Now let us return to the political side and what to watch for in the coming months. Budget talks are one of the biggest moments when Social Security becomes part of the conversation. When Congress negotiates spending and debt limits, some lawmakers push for changes to entitlement programs, which include Social Security and Medicare. Even if no immediate cuts happen, these debates can shape future policy directions. Paying attention to whether proposals focus on raising taxes, changing benefit formulas, or adjusting eligibility rules can give clues about what might be coming years down the line. Elections also play a huge role. Campaign promises often include bold statements about protecting or changing Social Security, but after elections, the reality of governing and budget math becomes more complicated. Trump's influence matters because he has a strong base of supporters in Congress, and that can push certain priorities forward. However, he does not control Congress by himself, and many lawmakers from both parties publicly state that they want to protect benefits for seniors. This balance of power is why dramatic changes are difficult to pass. Let us also talk about Medicare briefly, because while this video focuses on Social Security, healthcare costs are closely tied to how far your benefit dollars go. Even if Social Security checks increase, rising medical costs can eat into that extra money. Political decisions about drug prices, insurance rules, and Medicare funding all affect seniors' financial security. Some proposals aim to lower prescription drug costs, which can effectively put more money in seniors' pockets without changing Social Security itself. These policies can be just as important as changes to benefit amounts. Now, regarding stimulus and special payments, it is important to set realistic expectations. Emergency payments usually happen only during major economic crises like pandemics or severe recessions. While the economy does face challenges, there is currently no official nationwide plan for recurring stimulus checks for seniors. Some states offer small relief payments or tax rebates, and some local programs help with utilities or rent, but these are separate from federal Social Security. Being aware of local assistance programs can sometimes provide more immediate help than waiting for federal action. If you hear about new programs or bonuses, the safest approach is to wait for official notices from government agencies or well-known public announcements from trusted news sources. Acting too quickly on rumors can lead to disappointment or even financial loss if scammers get involved. Patience and verification are key when it comes to government benefits. So, after hearing all of this, what is the big picture? The big picture is that Social Security remains a stable and central part of retirement and disability support in the United States. It is under financial pressure, and political debates about how to fix that are ongoing. Trump's role in these debates influences which ideas get more attention, but it does not automatically translate into immediate changes to your monthly check. Real changes require laws, votes, and time. For seniors, the most important things are staying informed, managing finances carefully, protecting personal information, and using available support programs when needed. It is also important to remember that you are not alone in these concerns. Millions of Americans are watching these issues closely, and there is strong public support for protecting older adults and people with disabilities. Before we close, I want to remind you of why staying informed matters so much. Understanding how Social Security works and how political decisions affect it helps you make better choices and reduces unnecessary fear. It also helps you speak up when it matters, whether that means contacting representatives, voting, or simply helping friends and family understand what is really happening instead of spreading rumors. Today, we talked about why people are saying Social Security has shifted again, how Trump's influence fits into current policy discussions, what is real and what is still just proposals, and what practical steps seniors can take to stay secure. The most important message is this: your benefits are still protected under current law, and any major changes will take time and public debate. There is no reason to panic, but there is every reason to stay alert, informed, and prepared. Thank you for spending this time with me and for caring about your financial future. Staying aware and calm is one of the strongest tools you have. No matter what headlines come and go, knowledge and preparation will always help you feel more confident and more in control.